Welcome to Movies Train. Today I will show you a comedy fantasy horror movie from 2012 titled Dark Shadows. Spoilers ahead, so let's go to the explanation of the movie. At the beginning of the film, we are shown the scene of the year 1760, where we are shown a little boy named Barnabas, who leaves Liverpool City with his family. The Collins family left Liverpool and sailed to Maine and New England to expand the family empire. They started a successful fishing business there, after which they established the Collinsport there and the Collinwood Grand Estate. Even if his money increases, one day Barnabas tells that man should be poor without his duty, but he should also remember that family is his real wealth. 15 years later, Barnabas has an affair with one of the family's servants, Angelique, who is secretly a witch when she asks him for her love and not just his body. Barnabas tells her that he doesn't feel that way about her. So Angelique took her revenge for killing her parents. Barnabas suspects that some black magic is causing such an accident, so he begins to investigate black magic arts, but he begins a relationship with Seth. Angelique overhears them declaring their love for each other and becomes jealous, so she uses her black magic on Seth. After which Seth goes to the widow's mountain and jumps down to commit suicide. While Barnabas was unable to save her, Barnabas jumps after her but shows that he has survived the fall because Angelique has cursed him to become a vampire so that his suffering will never end. Angelique then gathers an angry mob of townspeople, pointing them out against Barnabas that he is a demon, and together they all capture him and lock him inside a coffin. After that, take him to the forest and bury him. And there the scene is cut and we are shown a train in the year 1972. On the train, a girl named Victoria Winters is heading to Collinsport because she has seen an advertisement from the Collins family looking for a regime. Victoria is not her real name, but she is running away from home and does not want people to know her true identity, so chooses her name from a poster on the train. When she reaches Collinswood, there she meets the servant of the Collins family who tells her that this mansion is not in good condition because 100 servants are needed to maintain this mansion, but there are only 2 servants here. At that time, Elizabeth Collins shows up to Stoddard, the family matriarch, and speaks privately with Victoria to convince her of the job. After mentioning that it's just 7 people in the house including the staff and there are areas of the mansion that they no longer use, Elizabeth asks him some questions which Victoria answers, which Elizabeth appreciates and accepts to hire him. Later on for dinner, Elizabeth introduces Victoria to the rest of her family. Elizabeth's brother is Roger Collins, a loafer. Elizabeth's teenage daughter Carolyn is going through a rebellious period. Roger's son David Collins, who has not been feeling well since his mother's death when he was 5 and thinks he can see his mother's ghost, and Dr. Julia Hoffman, a psychotherapist, is hired to deal with David's issues, but she spends most of her time intoxicated. Victoria sympathizes with David and tells him that she believes in ghosts, which Elizabeth does not like. After eating, as Elizabeth was getting ready to sleep, she sees someone wrapped in a bedsheet. When she goes to him mistaking him as David and pulls off her bedsheet, she sees Seth's ghost. She tells him that she is coming before going into the foyer and circling the chandelier a couple of times and repeating that she is coming. She falls the same way she did that day on the rock and vanishes. On the other hand, we are shown some workers. They were digging for some construction work. While digging, they find a coffin and one of them comes to look inside the coffin. He cuts the chain that is tied to the coffin. But then the coffin starts moving and the coffin opens, after which Barnabas becomes free and kills everyone and sucks their blood. In the end, he apologizes to a worker and says that I am thirsty for many years, after which he sucks his blood. After which he goes towards mansion and on the way, he gets stunned by seeing new and modern things. When he reaches the mansion, he finds Willie in the garden and hypnotizes him with his vampire powers to give him the information he needs. Barnabas asks him if the Collins family is alive now, to which he answers yes. After that, he tells him to clean me so that I can meet my family. He goes inside the mansion and is very happy, after which he tries to introduce himself to the children. But Elizabeth stops him and asks him to speak in private, expressing doubts about his identity and saying that all the magical myths surrounding the family are just fairy tales. Barnabas opens a secret room to prove himself, which Elizabeth did not even know about, and there was a lot of precious treasure inside the room. Barnabas tells that he will use all this treasure to bring back the lost glory of the Collins family. Elizabeth agrees to accept him back into the family, but under one condition: she must not tell anyone that he is a vampire. During breakfast the next day, she introduces him to others, such as Barnabas III, a distant relative from England. The family starts talking business and they explain to Barnabas that the Collins fishing empire is gone, and now the entire region is ruled by Angel Bay Seafood. At that point, Victoria enters the room and Barnabas sees her and she reminds him of Seth. On the other hand, we are shown Angelique, who is still alive under the name Angelique Bouchard, and she is now the powerful founder and CEO of Angel Bay Seafood. When his employees tell him about the accident with the workers in the forest, she then goes there to see it with her own eyes and is shocked to find the open coffin. By not wasting that time, she hurriedly drives to Collinwood, where Elizabeth insults her and Angelique also insults her, but just then Barnabas arrives and takes Angie into the room to have some secret talk. Angelique kisses him as he closes the door behind him, then tells him that Collinsport is her Angel Bay now. Thank you for your fishing business. He began with the aim of ruining Collinsport. The townspeople respect her as their leader, while they have forgotten all about him, so no one is going to believe him. After Angelique leaves, Barnabas expresses his concerns to Elizabeth. Elizabeth reminds him that whatever happened to him in the past, he always fought with such determination that they had to put him in a box. His family needs him now, so he must fight in the present as well. Inspired by his words, Barnabas sold some of his wealth. He hires dozens of people to renovate the mansion and rebuild his fishing company with the help of Emperella sunglasses and a hat. He manages to get out during the day without the sun burning him, although he has trouble finding a place to sleep comfortably, so he asks the servants to lay in his old coffin. He charms the captain of the fishermen, who previously worked for Angelique, to keep the company running smoothly. In his spare time, he continues to learn about technology and spends time with Victoria. One day Barnabas walks out of the secret room with the treasures, but he sees a lamp in Carolyn's room which he thinks contains blood. Staring at the blood, Julia sees him, who thinks he is acting very strange and invites him to her office. She hypnotizes him and learns his truth from him, and immediately rushes to Elizabeth and shouts. Elizabeth understands her and tells her not to go to the police. Julia agrees and tries to find out more about him by doing more experiments with him. Not long after, Barnabas approaches Carolyn with Jake asking her for advice on how to attract modern women. Carolyn tells him that he needs to drop all the old-timey attitude and hang out with cool people. That's why Barnabas goes to the forest where some people were partying. He smokes with them and asks them about wooing girls. The girls taught him that women want love and not money. After talking to them, he kills everyone to quench his thirst. The next day, Julia begins giving him a blood transfusion to see if it can cure his vampire. When Barnabas compliments him, Julia reminds him of the doctor's concept of patient privacy and gets down on his knees in front of him to give him pleasure. While Victoria and Barnabas spend time together and chat about the supernatural. A few days later, Angelique is furious as the Collins family company is succeeding again. That's why she calls the board members and meets them, in which she expresses her concern about it. But the board members tell her that we still rule 95% of the nets. But Angelique tells that it is a matter of pride and his grandmother started a path to destroy the Collins family. After the meeting, she asks Barnabas to hold a meeting and offers him the opportunity to sell his company to her. But Barnabas reminds Angelique that he only wants his love, and Angelique threatens to kill Victoria if he doesn't give her company. Barnabas is intimate with her in the office as they leave. But he realizes that it was a mistake and tells her that he cannot be with her. So Angelique promised to destroy him. Julia cleans Barnabas's blood to make him human again, while Victoria is dreaming in her sleep, in which she sees herself as a child and she is a ghost, and her parents send her to the asylum for this was. When she wakes up, she sees Josette's ghost, who was asking her for help. Having breakfast in the morning, Barnabas announces that he wants a ball party to the whole city to remind them who is the ruling family here. Carolyn explains to him that people don't throw balls these days and gives him some tips on trendy parties. When the night of the party comes, he realizes he wasn't kidding when he said he would get anything he mentioned. And now Alice Cooper is playing Live at her party. Since he is not a fan of music, Barnabas leaves for a walk around the house and finds David taking care of the coach room instead of the employee, as his father tells him to take over for a moment and not let anyone in. Barnabas sends him away and climbs to the outside wall to peek through the window, discovering Roger being intimate with the employee and stealing purses from people's coats. Barnabas meets Victoria on a balcony where he professes his love for her, where Victoria tells her about her past, how her parents left her in a mental asylum. She tells him that she can see ghosts. On the other hand, we see Angelica come to Collinwood where she sees Barnabas kissing Victoria. After that, she gets angry and leaves there. After some time, Barnabas goes to Julia, but he sees that Julia wants to make herself beautiful and immortal by using his blood. Seeing this, Barnabas kills her and takes away her corpse and throws it in the sea. The next day he sees Roger trying to take over the secret house and gives him a chance to correct his mistakes. He gives him two options in which he has to leave the house or else David's ideal father has to remain. But Roger leaves the house, after which David was going inside the house very sad when the chandelier falls on him. But Barnabas saves him. While doing so, he starts burning in the sunlight, after which his truth is revealed in front of everyone. Knowing the truth, Victoria also turns away from him. He immediately goes to Angelique and forces her to make her human again, but Angelique keeps two conditions from him: either marry her or do business together with her. Barnabas refuses to do so, upon which Angelique tells him that he will kill Victoria. Barnabas is out there when Angelique, with the help of her black magic, locks him in a coffin and sets fire to the Collins family's factory with her magic on the way. After that, he takes the coffin and keeps it in a grave where he cannot be free again. But David soon comes and frees him from there. Angelique goes to the Collins family's factory where she tells the police that the Collins family has hidden a killer in their home. The police arrive at Collinswood and ask to arrest Barnabas. But Barnabas brings Angelique's truth there in front of everyone. After which there is a fight between Angelica and Barnabas, in which Barnabas throws her and she breaks the roof and falls in Carolyn's room, while we learn that Angelique has cursed Carolyn into a wolf. Caroline asks him to leave his room, after which he again tries to attack Barnabas, but only then Elizabeth shoots him with a gun, but nothing happens to him. And she attacks Elizabeth with her magic, after which blood starts flowing from all the pictures on the wall. Suddenly the idol of the wall comes alive and imprisons Barnabas. At the same time, Carolyn comes and attacks him, but Angelique defeats her. Then David comes and challenges Angelique, and when Angelique tries to kill him, then the ghost of David's mother comes and kills Angelique. But she tells Barnabas that she loves him very much. Then Barnabas starts looking for Victoria, but Victoria ends up on the mountain to commit suicide because of the curse. Barnabas reaches there and tries to save her, but Angelique jumps in. Barnabas jumps behind her and turns her into a vampire, and they both start kissing. And in this scene, the movie ends here. Subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon so that you will get a notification of our next video.